look how cute my hair is and I can't see it. Okay, all right, enough of that. Am I going? Yes, I am. 15 seconds in. Hi, it's Diana here with the story portion to actually talk about the story. We talked about a little bit about the series itself and the author situation, and now we're going to talk about the actual story. Going to jump into chapter 3. So before that, I want to just some things that have been established in 1 and 2. Try not to talk fast. I don't have to talk fast. We're not in a rush. So what we've gotten in chapter 1 and 2 is that there are 3 Baudelaire children. Violet is the oldest, and she's an inventor. Klaus is the middle child, and he really loves to read. He reads a lot, so he's got a lot of knowledge. And Sunny is still an infant. She's the 3rd child, and she likes to bite things, but other than that, we're not quite sure about because she's a baby. Very quickly, we learned that both parents have been killed in a fire. So the Baudelaire children have lost their parents and their house. They have a fortune, but they can't access it. They are sent to live with a distant relative who happens to be Count Olaf. Count Olaf is very unpleasant. He is not very compassionate to children who have just lost their parents, and the kids have no choice and they have to live with them. He doesn't treat them well. He doesn't give them things like beds. And he leaves them lists of chores to do. And often the chores are very hard. So here we are, chapter 3. In chapter 3, part of the chores that Count Olaf leaves the kids to do is to prepare a meal for himself and his acting troupe. It's a total of 10 people. So they have to prepare a meal. If they want to eat themselves, which probably, they have to prepare a meal for 13 people. They do not know how to cook. And he leaves them a little bit of money. So here's their problem. They have a little bit of money, no knowledge or experience in preparing food. The one experience that is mentioned is that Violet tried to make toast and burnt the toast once for her parents. And this is probably significant because toast is not generally thought of as hard to prepare. Okay, so here's a problem. They have a problem. And the Baudelaire children problem solve. We have to do this. How do we do this? How would we go about doing this? Oh, what if we used a cookbook? That's what cookbooks are for. And then they also realize that Count Olaf does not have books. Luckily, Justice Strauss, who lives next door and is very pleasant, comes over and says, oh, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Which if you've ever had somebody say that to you right when you needed something and you said, oh yes, can you do this? And they say yes, it's a beautiful thing. So they say yes, and it's a beautiful thing. She takes them to her house, and they're able to use her library to look for a cookbook. Another thing Justice Strauss does is she confirms what the Baudelaire children thought themselves, which is, this is a really hard task for children. And she says that. This seems like a hard task for Count Olaf to leave for small children to do. So they find a couple of things at Justice Strauss's house. One, they find that she has an extensive library. They realize that they've been missing their own house. They get these feelings of nostalgia and sadness, and look at what life used to be like and how it could be, but it's not. They find a cookbook and they find a recipe. So they describe it, and the recipe is for puttneska, and the kids describe it as a dish. Okay, the kids didn't. The book describes it as a dish that sounded delicious and easy to make. Perfect. No experience cooking, It's going to taste good. It's not going to be hard. Another thing is that puttanesca doesn't have many ingredients since they don't have much money. That's perfect. Also, it's easy to make, it's delicious, it doesn't have many ingredients, so it's not going to cost much, and it probably can be made in one pot. Now, I made it, I used 2 pots, so that's not that much. Justice Strauss takes them to buy the ingredients, and they come home, and she leaves them there to prepare the meal. So here the Baudelaire children are again. They problem solved at the beginning. How can we learn how to make a meal when we don't know how? They figured it out. They got the cookbook. They got the ingredients. Another problem, fixing it. And they work together. Each takes a job and does it. Though admittedly, Sonny's job is to bang on a pots and sing, but that helps. Somebody raising the spirits and having a happy time when you're doing work is great. And so this is happy for me because it is what I think of meal preparing, whereas acknowledged in the book that preparing a meal made the kids feel more at home. This is a normal activity. Preparing food can make you feel happy and warm. There's nurturing going around. There's good smells happening. They might be feeling very proud of themselves because they've problem solved and they're completing this hard task. And they get this little glimmer of maybe this life won't be so bad. At least this moment is nice. So they're working together and feeling less miserable. And then Count Olaf walks in with his acting troupe. And he requests, like, where's the roast beef? I almost said roast beast. That's another book. That's the Grinch. They call it roast beast. Okay, so and the kids are suddenly deflated. Like, we've problem solved. We're making puttanesca. This smells good. It's good food. What is wrong with you, man? Except they don't say, what's wrong with you, man? And all that happiness, everything they've built, the confidence, the pride, taken away. And not only that, so that's bad enough. You know, if you've problem solved and somebody tells you, you've done that wrong, you go from, I did that to, But that's not all. They have an altercation, and he picks up Sonny, who is a baby, and holds her up higher and higher with the threat of dropping her. So we have all Baudelaire children feeling scared, feeling vulnerable, feeling deflated, and that threat is dissipated. He ends up putting her down, and because the troupe says pretty much, let's go eat. And what Count Olaf says is, I suppose we will eat their dinner even though it's all wrong. My gosh, I'm having a flashback to when I did some hard work, and I was on a team, so we were all same thing. High five! Yay, we did it! We're not only are we making it through this, but we're doing a good job. We're being creative, and was told this is all wrong. It's a really horrible feeling. So the entire meal is ruined. The cozy feeling is gone. And they serve the food. Now, Sonny doesn't serve, but the food has gone from something that was yummy to looking like red, like blood. They're disconnected from it. And they don't even really eat their own portion. So all that work, and they can't even enjoy what they did. At the end of the chapter, and we've moved to chapter 4. Chapter 3 was, here's the problem. how do we solve this problem? We've got the cookbook, we've got the ingredients, and chapter 4 is the fixing of it all the way to the serving of the meal. And at the end, Count Olaf says something mean, and Klaus talks back, and Count Olaf slaps him. So now, not only threatened Sonny earlier, but all the figurative verbal slap of you fixed the wrong food to this very physical, real slap, and all the Baudelaire children, anything that they had gained is wiped away. Very sad place to be at the end of chapter 4. In fact, I think it says they all cried in their sleep, or to themselves, maybe not even to sleep, but at night. Oh, I'm just taking a minute because that's so different than the other books we've read. And okay, so I am going to go to something else, but I want to say this, that, well, one, this is a book geared toward older kids than, say, Best Friends for Francis, which is the one I did right before this. But also, because we're at the beginning of the book and the beginning of the series, there's a lot of time to climb. Well, heck, there's a lot of time to still go further down. And there's time to climb up.